Hello, welcome back to another episode of An Angel and an Alien, and this is episode 22. And yeah, I've been playing off camera again, and I'm probably going to continue to do that while I'm still, deeply in the mood for playing like I am with this new expansion pack. And what I'm going to do is provide you with a few screenshots to update you with what's gone on since the last episode. So here they are. Since episode 21, Ruby and Brun's cat Beryl and dog Maggie have grown up to adult life stage, which is a lot more interesting than when they were puppies and kittens. Brun's been looking after newborn twins Lysa and Lyle. Ruby's been adding some of the cats and dogs' plants to her garden. And since the last makeover, she's also been working out to try and be a bit slimmer. Brun's been teaching Finn how to dance. And Ruby's been teaching Finn how to talk. Brun's been taking Maggie on jogs and walks. And it was Ruby's turn to be abducted by aliens this time. But don't worry, she's fine. And she also visited her twin brother Rodney's house and brought Finn along to meet him. And it seems they get on really well. But there was a fire back home. No one was hurt. But Ruby's mum Wendy and her grandmother Scylla came to visit. And she tried her baking skills out on them. Ruby also had some friends over, a couple of alien friends, including her sister-in-law, Ariel. That's Ariel in the middle there, with the dark hair, just to make it even more obvious. Finn's been learning lots of skills. Maggie seems to be showing everyone love, but I found out later it actually means that she's on heat. Ruby's been practicing her culinary skills. It seems that the ghost of Ruby's dead Uncle James is fading away. Ruby had fun at work one day, taking a photo of her friend Jarrett and her grandmother Scylla. And she was visited by a whole lot of aliens, which is kind of cool because they're townies, they weren't just newly made aliens. And when she got home, she got a promotion, which is cool. So she relaxed in a mud bath and had a eureka, which she needs for promotions. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that. And I hope you now are up to speed with what's going on in the family. And as you can see here, Ruby is looking after her two youngest kids, Lyle and Lysa. And it's late at night. Let me just check what the work situation is for tomorrow. So yeah, Ruby has work tomorrow, and that's in 11 hours time, so she's got more than enough time to get a good night's sleep as long as the kids are, quiet and don't wake her up in the middle of the night. And Brun has got work tomorrow as well. And he is also very tired, so I think he's just finishing some food. Yeah, he's just finishing some food. Then he's going to scratch Maggie, and I don't think he's going to teach Finn please and thank you because it's a little bit late in the evening, and Finn should be in bed, to be honest. So let's see where Ruby is. Ruby is going to breastfeed. Let's cancel that because I don't know if she needs to do that yet, but she can definitely put Finn to bed. Let's read him to bed. Read him to sleep, I mean. Okay, so I'm not sure I have mentioned this in the screenshots or not because I haven't actually recorded that bit yet. But Maggie aged up, and as you can see, she's kind of like, oh sorry, she's kind of like some kind of retriever Labrador kind of thing. She's a very bright dog, and she has started finally going to the loo outside on her own, I think, but I might still need to tell her to go out every now and then. But one of the places where she relieved herself has now sprouted a trash plant, which is a bit annoying. So I'm going to have to remove that. Another thing I might not have mentioned in the screenshot update recap thingy is that Ruby's garden needs a bit of work, but it's moved around yet again since the last time, and I now have more of these great quality plants. I'm trying to grow more great quality plants, so I'm grafting more onto there. And there's a few plants like this strawberry over here that I'm evolving up, and these ones over here I'm evolving up. Some of these are now great, and I'm now using them also to splice onto, to graft onto, sorry. And yeah, so in case you don't remember from the past episode, that's because I'm trying to build up a collection of plants that are at great quality so I can use them in builds. I don't want to use perfect quality plants because I think that takes away some of the gameplay for people that like me, like playing with the gardening in the game. So having a great quality plant in a house you've just placed in your world is a good start. You know, it's not as simple as just a nice plant or a normal plant or something lower like that. Anyhow, enough of that. But yeah, I'm going to tend to do most of the gardening stuff off camera. And yeah, another thing I should mention is that she's been continuing along with her aspiration, her botanist aspiration, her gardening aspiration, whatever it's called, and she's almost finished it. She'll have to grow a cow plant at some stage, so she'll have to get a cow plant seed. I think you can get one fishing. I've been thinking that Brun would be the good candidate for the fisherman because he's kind of doing the skills that aren't already covered by Ruby, basically, and fishing's one of them. But yeah, she's doing quite well on this, and yeah, she's got lots of satisfaction points. But she's also bought lots of different traits, and I have a little mod that allows me to get traits that are the rewards from aspirations. I know it's a cheat, but that's just the way I like playing. But they have a cost. They're not super cheap. They're not super expensive either. But what it means is that it gets rid of these satisfaction points, because it seems after a while you don't really need them. But if there's other traits that you can buy, then they come in useful again. Right, so yeah, let's unpause because we can't do let's pause. That's not good. Although we can do let's pause with the cats and the dogs. Okay, I don't think that comes across very well unless it's in text. Anyway, so yeah, Brun has also been working on his aspiration, and he's getting close to achieving that. And unlike Ruby, he doesn't have very many traits. But he's got a couple. Like, we just got Shrewd because we really need to get more money for paying the bills. He had enough satisfaction points. I think it cost him 1,700 or something like that. So he bought the Shrewd trait, and that will help a little bit. But they've actually just got their bills. Or he's just about to go and get them from the mailbox. Yeah, look, 8,000, not good. So yeah, 8,000 bills, and I'm not sure I've already mentioned it or not, but their power has gone off twice now. There was one time I did mention, and there's now been a second time that their power went off. So since then I've been trying to be a bit more careful with the power, and I've turned off lots of the lights in lots of the rooms. So more of them on auto light, or some of them are just turned off completely. But there's a few other things I could do. I know people in the comments don't want me to do, but I can, like, for example, sell some of these things, like some of these decorations, these plants. things like that. I mean, yeah, sure, it does change the house and make it less decorated, but in time I can get them back, because I know from past experience with scientist sims that they end up with quite a nice salary, and after a little while the money builds up again, and you won't have this problem with bills. And I've actually never had this problem with bills before, but it's because I limited the amount of money they started off with, just as an extra challenge to myself, and I'm really feeling the effect now. I really wish I hadn't done that now. Well, not really, because it's kind of fun, but this is probably the hardest bill so far, because they started out with hardly any cash, whereas before they did have a little bit of cash. But yeah, it's just come in now, and they're nowhere near having enough. So I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do with that. But one thing that might help is that Ruby has done a few days at work since her last birth, and she now has a cloning machine, so she can take some objects and clone them. So I'm going to keep that in mind and maybe clone a few things to get some cash, but I'll probably do that kind of stuff off screen, unless it becomes such a pain while I'm doing an episode and I have to pay the bills immediately or something like that. We'll see. Right, let's get on with the show. So yeah, Brun's finishing a very late meal and Maggie's running around. Well, that's another thing I want to mention, is that I'm just one sim, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, one sim below the limit of how many sims you can have in a household, which is 8. And I really I'd like both the cat and the dog to have a litter. Oh, she's not. She's drinking from the toilet. That's disgusting. I didn't know they did that. That's so cool. That's one of the things I like about new expansion packs or new gameplay like this, is that you really don't know what they're going to do. But I mean, this is disgusting, but it's really cool. I've seen some people asking for bowls so that you can feed your pets water or milk or whatever. And I agree, that would be good if we could fill some bowls with water or milk. Oh look, crying baby time. Don't pause it, don't pause it. So who's awake? Well, she's asleep now. He's awake. He can go up there and change Lyle's dirty diaper. And I've arranged the cots in order of the same order as down here, basically. So I know that's Lyle straight away. And also, he just happened to be born into a blue cot, so that's another way I can tell. But yeah, no, I didn't change the colour so the blue was for boys or whatever. It's just the way it was. But I also don't particularly care. Anyhow, so yeah, he needs some attention, and Brun's the one that is awake now. Not for very much longer, I don't think. Yeah, so his energy is quite low, but Finn is not in bed yet. Finn can probably survive the night without going to the loo, but let's see. So he's going to read Finn to sleep. I don't know what he was picking him up for. He already seemed to be doing that when I maybe he was already going to put him to bed. I hope so. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what the dog just did then, but that was a bit weird, wasn't it? It's probably a mod. I mean, I found out that the spikes that were coming out of my dog and cat's head was down to a mod, and I've removed that now. So that's cool. Okay, so luckily Brun's still awake because Lysa needs some attention too. Don't pause it. So I don't know what's wrong, but he's going to find out, because he's now got a high enough parenting skill that he can just kind of find out. There's probably she needs to be fed, but it seems to be a new addition with parenthood that they can be in need of interaction with. I don't think they needed it before parenthood came along. It was either, from my memory, my experience, babies only needed to be fed or have their diapers changed or whatever before parenthood came along. But now it seems to be more. They seem to also require a bit of attention, a bit like the attention drive that toddlers have. So if that was a change, then that's cool, but it's definitely cool that he can now find out what's wrong, and I don't have to kind of cycle through all the options to try and get the right one. Okay, so he was about to put a toy away, but I needed him to go to sleep. I don't need him to, but otherwise it's going to be a problem tomorrow morning. Anyhow, so yeah, back to the cats and dogs. So I wanted them both to have litters, but if one of them gets pregnant now, there can only be one kitten or puppy. So I would like to see more. That's interesting. It says it's on fast speed, but everything seems to be quite slow at the moment. So I've been thinking of taking one of the pets out while one of them is pregnant and swapping it over later after that one's had its litter, something like that. So don't be surprised if you see one of them missing in the next episode or something, because I'm very keen to try out dog mating and seeing what kind of puppies they have. So yeah, I've been trying to find mates for them already in town. There's a couple of likely candidates, and there's no other dogs quite like Maggie, but there is like some German Shepherds, and it might be quite an interesting mix, kind of golden retriever German Shepherd type thing. So we'll see how that goes. Right, anyway, it's 4:30 in the morning and Ruby has woken up, probably because of the sound of crying. One of them needs diaper changing, the other one we don't know quite what it needs. Probably needs to be fed, but she'll find out. And yeah, both Lysa and Lyle now are ready to become toddlers. And yeah, it's only a few days, but there they go, they're all ready to become toddlers. Crazy, huh? I know you haven't really seen much of their gameplay, sorry about that, but mostly it was like this. Lots of breaks in the middle of the night with one or the other parent getting up to attend to them. I didn't actually see what she needed. Hopefully Ruby's going to look after it. Yes, looks like it. So yeah, that's been pretty much the gameplay recently. Why is she taking trash out in the middle of the night? Last thing on my mind. Well, okay, it's the very early morning now. 5 o'clock. So she has work in 5 hours and she is fully rested. So I don't think she really needs to go back to sleep. But trouble is, if you leave them up, if you get them up early, that means they have to go to bed early as well. Just like in real life, if you go to bed late, you probably want to get up later, and if you go to bed early, you want to get up early. So I don't want her to get into a pattern of getting up too early. So I might send her back to bed. We'll see. What's she doing now? She's cleaning up some mess. Ah, it's the plate that he left outside last night. But anyhow, she needs to get to the loo. Exciting, exciting. And she needs to clean herself. But am I going to send her back to bed? Yeah, well. Hang on, what time does she actually start? It's 10 o'clock, isn't it? Yeah. So I don't know if I mentioned it all in the recap, but Ruby has done quite well at work recently, and she's had lots of interactions with aliens, as scientists do. And it's quite funny because at one point Brun's sister turned up at work, another alien, so that was cool to see her, because the game seems to use existing aliens for the different scenarios it has for scientists, so that was cool. And I almost expected maybe it was going to pick up Brun and send him in to meet her, but it didn't. You know what, I think now that she's awake, we'll leave her awake, because I'm sure we can find stuff for her to do. Let's leave her awake. So I am going to age up Lyle and Lysa in this episode, and I know you haven't seen much of the gameplay, but I assure you it wasn't very interesting. It was very domestic, and it's definitely the whole gameplay is going to get more interesting when there's 3 toddlers. And I know it's not quite the same as like the 7 toddler challenge or something like that when you've got 7 toddlers, but it's going to be hard enough for me having 3 because I'm, you know, a bit of a control freak, bit of a perfectionist, and you know, I would like all the toddlers to have like full skills, and I'm working on it with Finn. It's taking a little while, but he's getting there. And I'll want the same for these kids as well, for the twins. But yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But I'm pretty sure that they're not going to have any more kids after that. I think that would be just too much. And also, we would hit the sim limit, and I wouldn't be able to have any kittens or puppies. So, lots of reasons why I think 3 is enough. Now, I'm not telling her what to do. She's got to figure out what's wrong. She's cooing at him. Okay, that didn't work. What's she doing now? She's talking to him. That didn't work. I think he needs to be fed. Let's try it. Okay, so because I will definitely be cutting off the episode when she starts work, how about let's say at 9 o'clock I will age them up. That should be enough time. But yeah, everyone else is asleep. What's the dog and cat doing? So Maggie's just sitting there kind of guarding Finn, which is kind of cute. And she's a very caring dog, I've noticed. When one of the babies is crying or something like that, she always goes up near him or her and you know, just kind of watches out and tries to do what she can. And as you'll see from one of the screenshots in the recap, she seems to produce a lot of love hearts. So I think that's a positive thing. What have we got here? Another baby crying. That's the same one. So I wonder what the problem is now. She's actually going to use the find out what's wrong option this time. Although she seems pretty desperate to use the computer. She hasn't for a while, and she loves using the computer. She's a geek, so yeah, that's something she enjoys. Oh! So Brian has actually woken up and is looking after Lyle now. Hopefully Brian can sort that out. Let's get her to go back. Actually, I'm going to slightly cheat and just reset her and then teleport her down here, because we don't have very much time before she has to go to work. But yeah, let's get her back on the computer, because I know that she enjoys it, and I want her to be really happy when she goes to work, if possible. So she can play that for a while, and yeah, I'll have to think about what I'll do after that. Now, Brun is just standing there, mostly naked. Let's get some clothes on him. Not that it really matters, but anyway, he's got his clothes on. He is going to go to the bathroom as well and get himself prepared for the day. He needs to work out, I believe. Yeah, he's only done 50% of his workout, so that will be top of the list. And hopefully I mentioned it, he got a promotion and is now level 4, and that's after, oh no, sorry, I'm being silly. I think I'd already mentioned that in a previous episode, 21 maybe. But he has now got the requirements met for another promotion, so he should hopefully be level 5 very soon, but we shall see. So yeah, I think it's going to be a slightly longer episode today, because it's still going to take a while to get to 9 o'clock. And actually there's no reason why I can't age them up earlier than that. So I might just do that. Let me just check the breakfast situation over here, because everyone needs breakfast. Bowls for the pets are full. Let's look inside. Sorry, I can barely see it at the moment because of the light. So there's a bit of breakfast. Probably enough. So she can grab some leftovers, which I really like. And it seems that when you grab leftovers in the morning, they grab breakfasty kind of leftovers, and later on they'll grab non-breakfasty type of things. And this is actually something I asked for when the game first came out, because I was really annoyed that when they grabbed food they would just grab anything. And this was like back in 2014, and I was talking on Twitter and I was saying, oh, I wish that they wouldn't grab breakfast at night and stuff like this. And I think one of the Sims designers actually responded to me at the time and said, oh, that sounds like a good idea, or something like that. And now 3 years later, now you can actually do that, so that's cool. I'm not sure who it was. Was it Sim Guru Daniel? I'm not sure. Anyhow, what's Brun doing now? Brun needs to find out what's wrong with this baby, which is Lysa. And then after that he can come and have something to eat. Actually, break Ruby out of her gaming now. Brun can go and get... Actually, he doesn't want to get leftovers yet. He wants to find out what's wrong, and then I need to have his queue clear so that I can get him to fix whatever's wrong. Right, so Finn is waking up and he's sad. He's go to the loo. So luckily he is skilled with the potty, so he can go on his own. Just making sure that he's going to be able to get there. But he's not desperate for anything else at the moment. I mean, he could do with some food, he could do with a wash, but they're not urgent. What's Brun doing? Well, actually, I didn't see what was wrong. So I hope we'll figure it out. Okay. She just needed some attention. That's cool. Right, now he can go and get some leftovers. After they've finished their breakfast, then we'll do the aging up, eh? It's quite exciting. Yeah, I decided that while I was playing off camera that if they're going to age up now, then it should be on camera. So, tidied myself up, and yeah, I thought I'd make another episode, and here it is. So yeah, they're just getting on with that. What's wrong with Beryl? She seems to be complaining about something. Wonder if she can find out what's wrong. So she was going to take the rubbish out, plonk, but she's not anymore. Let me just do it for her, because, you know, a nice guy like that. So that, to me, looks like she's embarrassed or something. Let's do something like brush her and pet her. Usually makes my cat feel better. Oh, okay. She's afraid of something. She just needs a minute to calm herself down. Well, I hope she doesn't mind getting brushed and petted. I'll just brush her then, because I don't want to disturb her while she's getting over her problem. Right, oh, time is already zoomed on. There's only an hour till she goes to work. So, let's get up here. Ruby can lead the charge because she's the next one free. So, since Lysa is awake, let's age her up first. Now, alien babies, they tend to be bald, irrespective of whether they have like a hair color already set for them. So I'm expecting at least Lysa, who's definitely an alien baby, she will be bald probably, and Lyle probably won't be, and you'll probably be able to see his hair color straight away. But we won't know Lysa's one until I go into CAS after this episode and edit it. But I won't change the colour of it, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm just going to leave it as it is. But I'm going to give her hair, because I just don't want bald aliens. Nothing against bald people. Anyway, so Lysa's aged up, and what trait should we choose for her? So Finn, was angelic, and I kind of thought that would be a good one because it's the angel and alien family, so there should be an angel. So he was angelic. But Lysa, I don't know. Extra skill, but gets sad. Well, Finn already gets sad from being left behind. That would be bad. Independent. Let's go with independent for her. Just because it's a bit different. So it says she's aged up, but she's disappeared and she hasn't actually appeared. Probably because I'm paused. There she is. Now in a very awkward position, and it just pops up like that. That's strange, isn't it? Let's see if we can have a look at her face. Oh yeah. She's very angular. A bit more like her dad. But yeah, next time you see her, probably she'll have hair. And let's get Brun to age up Lyle. So he can drop down his food for now. Actually, let's try a loving hug. Is he coming, Brun? Aww. That's cool. It's kind of like this independent kind of, arms folded kind of thing. So Lyle has aged up, funnily enough, because we manually did it. I'm thinking for him we'll go for something like, I don't want to go for wild or fussy. Yeah, fussy, no. It gets sad if they haven't been outside in a while. It's going to be hard to get them outside. So, thinking charmer or inquisitive. Let's go with inquisitive. Okay, so Lyle is inquisitive, and let's see what he looks like. Just appears yet again between the legs. Very weird. Could be a mod. And he's got girl's hair. Okay, but he's got his dad's hair color, which is cool. So yeah, I'm going to fix those up in CAS. Let's have a look at his face as well while we're there. Different, yeah. It's probably more like Ruby's face. Not as angular as his. So yeah, I think that's the end of that episode. And yeah, we have 2 new toddlers, making a total of 3, and probably that's all for the angel and alien brood. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the episode, and if you're not already, please consider subscribing, and I hope I will see you for the next episode. Take care and goodbye.